So make sure you're at your destination. Traffic jam is no excuse, because you know we have a lot of traffic on our roads. It's all about planning your time very well to avoid any inconveniences. And now that we know pilgrims are trekking all the way to Namugongo, drive carefully. We do not want a recap of an accident of a pilgrim knocked because someone is rushing or you're driving carelessly. So we pray and hope that we shall not have such like we had in one of the pilgrims who was hit by a car, and shortly after admission, 2 hours passed on. We sympathize. And yesterday we had one who along the way, shortly to the desired promised land, that was Namugongo, when she fell down, collapsed, and she was pronounced dead. We hope the grace of the Lord will be with them throughout. Once again, it is Good Morning Uganda Extra, and this morning we are going to be discussing a very interesting topic where I believe many need to know much regarding it, and this is herbal medicine. The world over, many people are embracing herbal medicine. Some countries, the Asian tigers, come to China, Japan. Herbal medicine is the way to go. Conventional medicine is something that they really rely on so much. And this morning, I have young lads, that is from Jenna Herbal Uganda Limited. Now, these are young men, and they are working with, when you hear that name, Jenna, of course, it goes to Professor Ogwang, COVIDX, if you remember very well during that time. We're supposed to have him, but due to commitments, he sent representatives who I believe will also do justice to that topic this morning. On my extreme end is a young man that is Okwia Emmanuel, who happens to be the Public Relations Officer of Jenna Herbal Limited. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. It's an honor being here on UBC TV. And just like you said, there's a lot happening in the city. The Martyrs' Day is within our corner. We want to thank God for giving us this opportunity to live today, but also to thank the pilgrims. I was actually following online people arriving from different corners to Uganda Matters. Very encouraging that we still have people who have faith in the hearts so much deep, and that is interesting. My name is Emmanuel Okia. I am the Public Relations Officer of Jenna Herbals Limited. Very many people know us as the COVIDX company, a company owned by Professor Patrick Ogwang. And certainly it's a pleasure that today we have the honor to discuss about these wonder herbal medicines that seem to be taking over and helping society to survive and to get out of these diseases that keep disturbing. You and I know that almost every day we are now realizing new infections, new viruses, new diseases in society. But I think God is using a few people to go back to where we began from. You know, then we began with herbal medicine in the villages, and if we are able to research more closely and then give a solution out of our trees, our natural trees within our society, then that is something worth celebrating. So I'm glad to be here this morning. Thank you.
Then just next to me is Simon Nail, a medical representative that is from the same company. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much. I'm privileged to be here today and discussing about the impact of herbal medicine to our society. It is something very, very interesting to this morning to discuss about, because everybody needs better health. We really see so many people are struggling out there with life, but when we improve the quality of life with these medicines, we shall really see that everybody will live a very happy life. People will be prosperous. There will be no big pressure. See, herbal medicine is not a new thing. It has been there, it has existed, but it gets renowned whenever we have an outbreak of a new infection. That's why people really run and realize that it is a very important way to go. So thank you. I'm really privileged to be here today.
Emmanuel, maybe just for my viewer and to give shape to this discussion, to better understand when we talk about that is Jena Herbal Uganda Limited. First, is this a company? Is it because we talk about herbal medicine? Of late, someone believes it's something that you can anyone can give. So Jena here, what do you do? What is Jena? For someone watching us to better understand the people I have, where they are coming from, and the authenticity of them talking about these issues.
Well, thank you. We have first and foremost, just like you said, that many people think that maybe herbal medicine, anybody can go to the forest and then you pull in a tree and then you begin finding ways of applying. Jena Herbals is a company, manufacturing company. We manufacture herbal medicine. It is a company that has existed for over 15 years. Interestingly, very many people seem to have come across to know more about Jena during the day of COVID-19. I will talk about it. But we manufacture herbal medicine, and we are a fully fledged company. Now, in Jena, we do three things. Number one, we research. Okay? So, there is this in our society. We have people who are threatened with diabetes, we have people who are threatened with high blood pressure, we have malaria disturbing people, we have people whose wounds cannot cure. What do? We research. And then, once we research, we develop a formula for your problem. We have a friend who is having issues with too much weight, wants to cut it down. What can we do to help such a person? We have a country which is battling with COVID. What do we do to help such a country? So we research, and then we develop. After developing, then we manufacture safe and effective herbal medicine. So it's within that background that we come in as a fully fledged manufacturing company. We have for years tried as much as we can to ensure that, number one, we come up with a product which is very, very effective. We come up with a product which is very safe, and all our products are notified by NDA. So the way Jena came into the limelight, you and I know that when the issues of COVID started coming, first it looked like news when we're hearing China is having cases, and then it started moving slowly. It is in Congo, it is in Rwanda, until we heard that it was in Kenya. So when it came to Uganda, it was a shock to everybody. And you remember very well that government came up with immediate interventions to help minimize the spread of COVID. And one of them was to put a lockdown to the country, because it is believed, and it is true, that COVID actually spreads when spreads in a place where there are so many people. And then also, once people have an opportunity to interact very closely, they get
respiratory disease.
Yes. But when people went onto a lockdown, media houses paid attention to scientists. The questions that were very, very common were, how did COVID come? What cures COVID? You know, is there something we can do as a country to give a solution to this virus? And certainly, one of the most common answers were, there is no medicine for COVID. What we can do now is to prevent it, is to prevent COVID. But you see what God does, they say that the same way God can, the devil can use one person to destroy the whole society, God still can use one person to save the whole society. So as Jenna, we paid attention to the crisis that the country was actually facing. And we have a very good team of researchers, a very good team of scientists led by Professor Patrick Ogwangengeu. So through the help of God, when you talk to Professor, he will tell you that he got a voice that told him that, please, one of your solutions that you once manufactured, you could still repurpose it for this, since it is something that deals with viral infections. So that's how we're able to come up with COVIDX. You know, when COVIDX came, at first it was hard to believe, you know, what was happening in Uganda. And that's one of the things and the problems we have in Africa. Africans hardly embrace their own.
There is doubt.
Yes.
They
So
usually doubt. We think what is coming overseas from the white man is better organized and more effective if it's in the form of treatment. Yes.
So Africans hardly embrace their own. And that's why you see that we have Africans who believe that they can have a workshop here and go and hire somebody from Mbarara to come and teach them how to have 1 kilo of posho in the house. Because they don't believe in people within them. So when we came up with COVIDX, so many people were doubting, that is looking for money and the rest of the things. But certainly at the end of the day, you realize that COVIDX proved to be so helpful to many people. It really saved so many people. And when we presented it to NDA, it was tested and it was notified that it was a drug worth helping people for COVID. And certainly, even after COVID, COVIDX is still very effective because COVIDX helps with coughs, with the allergies, with all the viral infections. That's how people got to know about Jenna Herbals. So when you mention about Jenna Herbals, people quickly switch to COVIDX. And yet, certainly, COVIDX is just one drug. We have about 15 drugs in Jenna Herbals. We have a medicine for high blood pressure.
Well, we should get to that later on. We are looking at herbal medicine.
Yes.
Now, COVIDX is a supportive treatment for COVID-19, and many people have used it and they can testify that, yes, really, it helped them while they were on treatment. Now, when you talk about herbal medicine, you've tried to describe it, but I want to come back to Neil. For a person watching us, when we talk about herbal medicine, herbal treatment, one could be wondering now, what kind of treatment is that? Is it reflexology? Is it running? Is it a therapy? What is herbal medicine?
Thank you so much. Herbals, I would want really to give a small background on herbs. We all use herbs daily.
Assumably, because there could be someone who has never. So you say we all.
Yeah.
There are some people who look at herbs as even demonic when they feel some faith.
It is
They'll
true.
tell you, no, don't go to the bush, don't do this, don't.
Why I'm saying we are using herbs daily, herbs start from a meal. For example, vegetables. Those are herbs. They are obtained. Those vegetables, most of them, they are obtained from herbs. Even if you eat meat, for example, a goat, they also feed on herbs. So you find that we have come a long way. That's why you see when you look at in the Bible, Psalms 104, verse 14, it really says that herbs are purposed for the service of man. So it means that whether you eat it from a goat, whether you eat it from where, but you find that herbs is the baseline, is the foundation of life, the foundation of good health. So, whilst we also look at in the beginning, God had planted a man on a plantation which was full of herbs. So he knew that in that garden, man was going to get each and everything, including medicine. So today, discussing about herbal medicine is a very interesting and easy thing, because you really find that all around us we see herbs, we see vegetables, we see green, and that is why we really see that. So one, herbs are palatable drugs. Okay, anything palatable. It's something that you really see that everybody can easily enjoy. It is not something which is having something which people don't understand, but we grow up with it. It is always around us. So when we look at herbal medicine, it is the indigenous type of medicine. It is something which is formulated from the trees around us. Only what makes it unique is how you are going to put these herbs together, how you are going to join these plants together to come up with something which is going to do the purpose that you want it to do. That is why you see Professor had to take an initiative, as my colleague had said, that he had to research on. Not every herb has the capacity to heal, but there are those specific ones which have the capacity to give that healing aspect. So once we bring these formulas together, these herbs together, we end up with a formula which contains ingredients from various herbs, from various trees, and then they are filtered. That's why my colleague was saying that you don't just go to the garden that this tree can heal, then you get a herb. There is a process that we are supposed to subject those herbs such that they become very safe to remove toxins, to remove impurities, because once those impurities are part of the formula, when you pound it at home and the impurities remain as a part of the formula, it reduces the effectiveness of that herb. So that's why you see you may go in the village there and you harvest the same herb, but you may not get the impact, the effect, or the remedy that you expect than if you bought it from Uganda herbs or the one which is already processed. So processing these herbs is basically done from Uganda manufacturing company, which removes the impurities, which selects these herbs, which brings these herbs together, and it has to make sure that it is non-toxic, removes all the toxic part, and make sure that it is designed for the purpose which it is supposed to do. So much as my colleague has tried to say something, but you find that out of those formulas that are already purposed to do various roles, we got to know much about these herbs when we had a challenging issue
situation.
Of COVID situation.
Now let me go back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, he's defined what herbs are, that are easy things we've grown up consuming, seeing. In the nearby area, for us people that have lived longer in this country, even knowledge would be passed on from one generation to the other. If your grandmother knew medicine for snake bites, then among the grandchildren at least should secretly teach one. You know, those days people would do it tactfully. You see, the herb is just there. She'll run around the house, go to the garden, go there. So that people don't really get to know what is the actual medicine. Then squeezes, spits, not necessarily does some circus, and then I say, okay, oh yeah, I need dagareri on your musota, you know? And then pick one child and but actually when you see me running, I'm just confusing people. Actually, this is what we use when a snake bites someone. So the entire village, a snake, you know, oh, run to so and so because she's the one who uses snake bites. Someone has a spleen and it's just about playing around. So and so is yemuyunzi wakuno, take that one there. So they would specialize, and they would be, I call it selfish, because some would die without passing on the knowledge of some of these herbs that are very important. That people that have lived like Brother Atoro would tell you that on this village we had a person who would heal almost this disease, but she died and she didn't pass on that knowledge. Now, coming back to modern day Uganda, we see this has become more of a business. If there is anything Ugandans are embracing now, is herbal medicine. Even if you just walked out of here, it would be very easy for you to meet a truck. This does that, this all packed properly, looking very good. Now, Jenna, you are a proven company. And of course, you've kept your name for 15 years. I want to commend you for that. But how does an ordinary Ugandan avoid being fleeced? Today, when you move around, you hear this is manpower, this is woman what, this is all funny. You know, there are specific diseases that everyone is an expert at. That it makes me wonder, does herbal medicine heal each and everything? Because one has a tin like this, the headache, spine problems, losing weight, all the diseases on earth are being healed by that one content. So how do we avoid being fleeced?
Well, number one, I've always loved sharing and telling people a very simple statement that not everybody who is dressed smart out is clean inside. Just like you've said, herbal medicine is becoming business, and certainly almost everything in the country or in the world is becoming business. I am worried that maybe very soon even breathing will become a business.
It was a business during COVID-19.
Yes, it became a business.
You would pay an arm and a leg.
So even during the days of COVIDX, you know, when COVIDX came, some people felt even a privilege to have a bottle of COVIDX. And so we had a lot of people duplicating. I remember when we, together with Professor, when we had a press conference, we told society and duplicators that, please try to duplicate anything, but don't duplicate medicine. Because once I duplicate medicine, trust me, I am killing human beings. Okay? Try to duplicate a phone. You try to duplicate a microphone, but don't try to duplicate medicine. However, we've also tried to emphasize one thing, that every product which is good must be notified with the NDA, National Drug Authority. That's number one. Number two, we have also severally encouraged and told people that, for instance, for us as Jenna, our medicine is channeled to the right sources. If you want to find and get a drug of Jenna, then go to any nearby pharmacy or drug shop around you which is registered. If you go to the streets, you find that, because also we are living in a country where there are a lot of unemployed people. And because I am unemployed, I must think beyond the box to see how to survive. I want to give you an example. If you go to process for a permit, immediately you get out of the offices where they process a permit, where they give you maybe a learner's permit, immediately you step the road, there are people who already have fake permits. Okay, try this one, first start with this one. That is the society we are living in. So people, because of wanting to live, people venture into even wrong ways of wanting to survive, simply because they want a day to end. But what we are saying is, yes, we all know that we are living in a society where everybody wants to live, but your health matters. Why would you bypass a pharmacy and then you go to the streets? Simply because Jenna coffee in a pharmacy is 10,000. But there is somebody who is selling something you're not sure of its effectiveness at 9,500. So you bypass a pharmacy which is selling an effective and a notified product at 10,000 in an expense of 500 shillings. 500 shillings. You risk your life. You consume what you're not sure how it was manufactured, the processes it went through, whether it can help or it cannot help. So to be safe, go to a doctor you know has a proven, a tested record, a doctor who has stood the test of time. Don't go to a clinic that you don't know when it was opened. You just wake up, there's a clinic in your neighbor, you run there. You want to help yourself. Go to a pharmacy which is licensed to operate. Go to a drug shop which is licensed, so that tomorrow, in the case of any side effect, in the case of any problem that you encounter, on the process of consuming the product or the medicine that you're going to get, not only maybe Jena products, but any medicine, you can go back to the same
and follow for better guidance.
You can go back and
well, Neil, now when you talk about herbal medicine, what are some of the products you have at Jena? Because many times when I move around, I see one product seemingly to cure anything on earth that exists. Yet, when I'm taking paracetamol, I know it does this. When I'm taking any drug and it does this, many of the times I wonder, is it one drug that does miracles? You know, I think you've come across these people, you know, they're about 40, 50 diseases.
That is true.
And you're like, goodness me, what is happening here?
Thank you so much. When you look at us from Jena, we have quite a number of specific products which deal with the specific conditions. Among them, we have Jena seed for ulcers. And we always encourage Jena seed should be widely used because it has no side effects. It is going to clean up with your duodenum, with the stomach, and it also cures most of the inflammations, the wounds which could be there. Looking at the trend of life we are living today, most people have developed ulcers. Others are still wondering how they got it. But sometimes we get from the very food we eat, the body might not be, and then the reactions take place in your stomach. Secondly, we have also Jena Power. Jena Power is one of the products which is used basically by men, because some people, they are diabetic and they don't have the ability to fulfill their house inside the obligations, and therefore they might need some boosting. So we also catered for them. We also have Jena Cough. Jena Cough, much as Covidex is there, Covidex deals with the virus, coronavirus. We also have special Jena Cough for this ordinary flu and these other influenza costly flus. So you find that we have also catered for that. We also have Jena Mal for malaria. Looking at tropical Africa, we are the biggest burden we have is what? Is malaria. So we have Jena Mal, which specifically helps in handling malaria. We also have these other conditions like wounds. These wounds which are failed to heal. Maybe other people, they have gangrene. These are very big open wounds, sometimes following amputation, following a road traffic accident, and then you may fail to cure on time. So we also have products which are specifically for those other conditions. So that's why you need to go to a registered pharmacy such that you will explain your problem there. We don't always encourage people to go and demand for the drug. It is better you present your condition to the healthy worker or to the doctor. Then it is him who can know which product best serves your problem. Because when you go, when you know the drug and you decide for him, the extent of your condition might not be helped only by that single drug. Maybe he needs to combine, he needs to do something, and also accompany with what? With some advice. So that is why we always encourage that. Let people go to registered pharmacies. Much as you want to use these Jena products, our products are not sold on streets. So our products are all sold from registered pharmacies, registered drug shops, registered clinics, and maybe if you come to our head office at Jena Herbals.
Very interesting. Now this takes me to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, why should one opt for herbal treatment or herbal medicine compared to the conventional way? Because people think conventional is made by a white man, though we now also do that. We have companies even have reached a level of manufacturing ARVs. So why should one opt for this? You know, I'd rather go for an injection, you know, or a drip, and some even believe when you're injected, it works faster. So I would rather go and get my Panadol, that is paracetamol, and a few than. Why would I?
Why should one go for herbal medicine? Is because it is effective and safe. why should one go for a meal when he's hungry? Because he is satisfied. After eating, he is satisfied. But also, just like Simon said, that in the past days before the modern society, the too much modern society now, you and I survived on herbal medicine. And, you know, we have problems in our lives that many people are resisting to these other medicines, and so many people are actually responding to herbal medicine. I want to give you a very simple example. My mother is a diabetic patient, diabetic person. So she disturbed me for very many years. Almost every day. Simon was actually her doctor. Before I joined Jenna, she disturbed me a lot. So every time, you know, there's that diabetic medicine you always swallow. There's that medicine you always swallow. And then a friend of mine, by then I was just a friend to Professor Patrick Ogwan. A friend of mine told me that you're a friend to Professor. He has a drug for diabetes. And that's why up to now, I cherish Jenna DM. Because I saw it work in my mother. So I called Professor. Professor tells me, okay, that's okay. I have a drug that can help. But before we give her, let me first talk to her. I want to teach her about her lifestyle so that a drug can move along with her lifestyle. So I connected them on phone. Professor talked to her, and then I bought for her Jenna DM. My mother was in a situation where even me, I knew anytime I am losing her. But she is living a very normal life. So herbal medicine, for as long as it is researched, developed, and manufactured well, trust me, herbal medicine can never do what it can never disappoint. For as long as it is researched and manufactured well, it cannot disappoint. Now
when you talk about researched, who are we referring to? Because we've had today, we have so many doctors. Many medias, you will find I'm doctors so and so, I'm a doctor so and so, I'm the founder of this. Adverts have become everywhere. So who researches? Because anyone will tell you, I research. You know, research is not something restricted to anybody. Anyone can go, know some herbs, read about them. Today everything is on the internet. Bring a number together, and then he did research. I've seen many of these, when they speak, you think they are physicians, you know. Yes, their pronunciation of diseases, formulas, and what may be funny, but, you know, they seem so informed and have done research. So when you talk of herbal medicine, who are referring to as the researcher that you can recommend?
Let me chip in a bit. When we talk about researching, it should be after your research, there should be a notification from a government organization. And for us in Uganda, we have a National Drug Authority. So it is a National Drug Authority that comes to approve whether your formula, whether your drug can really serve the purpose that you are talking about. So much as research, everyone can do research, but can you fulfill all the requirements for does your product fulfill the requirements for it to go into the market? So there are these other researches that are conducted, but they are not yet notified. So that is why there is a big difference between this research which we are doing and then this other research which is purposed just to make life or to make money. So it is better you do something that really assists the community.
A person specialized and who has specialized knowledge on the mostly indigenous trees, herbal medicine, is mostly a pharmacist. These are people who, just like we have a surgeon, these are people who are specialized on that. So you realize that, just like you said, we now even have men of God who have very good language on medicine. You assume they are actually physicians, but somebody must have a background in pharmacy for you to be able to to deliver what is.
So it is researched by professionals?
Yes, yes, by professionals. It is researched by
professionals, then backed by the
yes.
authorizing body.
Yes.
Yes.
For us in Jena, for example, and I'm going to invite you to Jena, we only have professionals. Apart from fully qualified people working with us, another category of people that you'll find in Jena are interns, maybe from Mbarara University. Those are the people that you find from there. But I was telling you that I was emphasizing on why herbal medicine, because herbal medicine has really influenced a lot in the health sector of today, and it is what very many are resorting. I want to give you an example. We have two products for malaria. We recently, 1 month back, we launched a product which is a lotion. It is a mosquito repellent. But we have a product called Genamal. You just be putting it to your tea and you take. When you ask Professor when last he had malaria, he will tell you that I used to have malaria and this diseases when I was ignorant. He will tell you my family has not seen malaria for the last 15 years. Okay? So, the same way you have tea leaves in your tea, you put Genamal to your tea. So, in a nutshell, you realize that we need as Ugandans, we need as Africans to embrace our own. We need to pay attention to our society. We need to pay attention to our environment, and we need to pay attention to the trees that we cut every day. Okay? What about if Europeans stopped sending for us medicine? Where are we going to run? If Jena had not developed Covidex, perhaps we would still be on a lockdown up to now. But because we embrace society, we embrace our surrounding, we looked around what is within us and paid attention to what is within us. And that is one thing I want us to know. That within you, within us, within Uganda, within Africa, there is something far much better than what you are admiring on TV outside Africa.
Well said to that. This is where I want to bring in Neil. Now, Neil, many of the times, how do you arrive at dosages in terms of herbal medicine? Because I've seen people say or allege herbal medicine has no overdosage. Herbal medicine, you can drink as much as you want. It is safe. Contrary to the conventional medicine that if you take overdose, they can find you somewhere. You know, everything has changed. You're fighting for your life. That you don't have this. And this makes me wonder. You're the people in this field.
Thank you so much. Before I can tackle that area so much well, I want to re-echo something small that my colleague was discussing about. Why would someone specifically run for a herb? One thing is in which I want the community out there to hear is herbs are a bit cheaper. It's a cheaper treatment. Because we don't put you on a drip, we rarely admit people, you find that it is a cheaper product. It is something which is a bit affordable, but it does a lot more. And then the other thing is herbs are what? They handle chronic conditions, chronic diseases that would cater for you to take drugs for the rest of your life. A herb can cure it, and therefore you are set out from this issue of taking drugs for all enrollment into orthodox drugs until for the rest of your life. The other thing is you find that these herbal drugs, why most people take it every time, as my colleague was saying, that you can put it in your tea. It goes to evokes your immune system. It works along with your body. So what it does, it enters into your body, it goes to wake up, because the body has already inbuilt mechanism which it uses to kill all pathogenic bacteria, pathogenic disease-causing organisms in your body. So you find that it goes, wakes up the immune system, and the immune system is able to deal with that pathogen accordingly. And then the other thing is why we encourage people to opt for these drugs so much is that you find that they have lesser side effects, almost no side effects. They are genuine. You can go and do your work after using them. Now I can come to dosage. For us at Jena, all our products have dosage alongside. So we can sometimes, we put their weight, we put their age of that person. So if you look at the child, we have their dosage indicated at the leaflet. So whenever you open a Jena product, you get a leaflet which guides you on how you are going to use. Are you going to use it once a day? Are you going to use it 3 times a day? After which is schedule are you going to take the next dose? And then we also recommend you that you first talk to you explain your condition to the physician, to the doctor. That doctor can, because not everyone is capable of interpreting and reading the language which is in that leaflet. So it is that health worker who is going to assist us to interpret your situation, your problem, and dosage and write. He interprets the dosage in the leaflet and presents it in a language that the client can understand. So that is how we are dealing along with the issue of dosage. When you look at herbal medicine, what I've realized is you have been following issues of herbs. Most of the people who are handling with herbs, some of them are not really dealing with herbs, but they are dealing with what we call supplements. There is a difference between supplement and herbal medicine. So when they are talking about it outside in the street there, that's why you see NDA cannot restrict them all that much, because they are dealing with the food. They are selling a popo, they are selling what, but packed. So, but when you announce that you have a herbal medicine, the NDA, the National Drug Authority, has to intervene very fast, because you have announced it in the names of a drug, a medicine, which is under the umbrella of National Drug Authority. So they have to run there very quickly. But much as they are given that privilege to sell these food supplements, they have now turned in the market to name them as drugs, that we are selling this drug, this is a herb, but they are registered as a nutritional supplements, not as drugs. So for us who are elites, people who are out there who are watching at us now, you must be able to distinguish
between a medicine and a food supplement. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. It's been a very interesting discussion, getting to know about herbal medicine. But I'm just going to give each of you just 1 minute to have your concluding remarks regarding these herbal medicine. And I'll begin with you, Emmanuel.
Well, thank you. It's been interesting to discuss about medicine, not particularly maybe only herbal, but medicine, because it is the health of the people. I am so much interested in the people who are going to be in Uganda Matters. You know that pilgrims have been walking all the way from Fort Portal Hoima to Uganda Matters. We want to encourage, we have a lot of mosquitoes right now because of rains. We have a lot of mosquitoes. We have malaria, we have malaria right now, a lot of it in society. We want to encourage pilgrims that as you're walking, take Janamal, and also buy a repellent. We produced a new repellent called Jenamos. It is good for mosquitoes. You just smear and you sleep so that you be safe. We want to celebrate Uganda Matters with the pilgrims, and we want to thank you for hosting us. From Jena Herbals, we are home of safe herbal medicine. Thank you very much for hosting us today.
Well, you're welcome. Nail your final remarks.
Thank you so much. My final remarks, I would really want everybody to be concerned about their health, because we as Jena, we are working hard to improve the quality of life and to increase life expectancy. You know, today when people see you at 40, they really wonder, how did you make it there? life expectancy, most people don't expect to live long now. But we are doing much as we can, because with this, when you look at the orthodox medicines, people now run to pharmacy at their will. They buy drugs the way they want. That's why we have escalating cases of cancer around the society. So we want people to take safe drugs from registered pharmacies. These are drugs which are kept in ideal conditions, which are recommended by the governing body. Don't just rush out there and take any drug. It can turn to become a toxic. It can ignite other mutations in your body, and you end up with a very big problem which cannot be handled medically, and it cannot take you long. So thank you so much. I'm privileged to be at UBC today and discussing about health, which is a very good topic to discuss about. Every ear wants to hear about it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Time is not so much on my side. I just want to thank you for actually finding time. And of course, I believe there is something you've learned concerning herbal medicine, but get it at a safe place, not everywhere. Have a lovely day.